For the morning decision, the bill is to be taken up. What is your
very small bill, which BSc is already allotted 1 hour. In half an hour, I think we can.
It's a non-controversial bill. No,
we already decided.
Yeah, in the in the morning meeting it was decided.
Yes, we already
will take up this bill also. Oh, Honorable LOP. In the morning meeting it was decided.
They should now celebrate. Today is the result of
today is not motor vehicle. We are not taking motor vehicle. Don't worry.
Sir,
don't worry.
Sir, that Lok Sabha there was no sitting since morning, since the counting was going to take place. Now let us at least, we spend whole day, let us watch the result now. Now.
Don't worry.
Okay then. Then special mention. Special mention.
Sir, आधे घंटे में हो जाएगा ये.
आज नहीं.
Naqvi ji, special. Then special mention. Mr. Naqvi, we'll take a special mention.
Why are you?
We'll take special mention.
Bill is coming.
Bill. Can we pass in half an hour?
दुनिया समझती नहीं आती.
As far as the government का है.
What is your view?
Not today.
के लिए तैयार है. But it is not good. Monday discussion, no legislative business. It's not good.
Yeah.
Next week.
Yes.
No.
Tiruchi Shiva.
Next week.
Appropriate channel.
Next week.
Half an hour?
Yes.
Special mention.
Already half an hour, sir.
So आगे. No, not today, sir.
सर ये देश के विकास से जुड़े हुए जो ये कानून है उसको आप नहीं बनने देंगे. गोविंद जी को किसानों के कमजोर तबकों के
स्पेशल मेंशन पढ़ो.
हमारे नहीं है ये. हमारे लिए ये नहीं है कानून.
स्पेशल मेंशन
जो है आधा घंटा तो
मेंशन
चाहिए. आधे घंटे में आप नहीं करना चाहिए.
Very important citizens residing outside India to get enrolled as an elector in electoral roll. As per the data of 2014 provided by the Minister of External Affairs, there are 9,846 electors out of 1,37,700 NRIs. In 2014, Committee for Exploring Feasibility of Alternative Options for Voting by Overseas Electors set up by Election Commission of India came out with a report which suggested that government should amend the Representative of People's Act 1951 to introduce a channel through which NRI can cast their votes. The report suggested channels such as proxy voting or e-postal ballot. The government has still now not made any provision for setting up of any channel through which registered NRI voters can cast their votes. If no appropriate voting channel is provided to NRI voters, their representation within the country cannot be made. I urge the government to make amendments to the provisions of the Representation of People's Act 1951 and deliberate upon the appropriate channel that can be set up for NRI voting. The government should take into consideration the suggestion of the committee report and set up an appropriate channel for voting by NRIs.
Sri Anil Desai.
So,
Anil
my
Desai.
special mention is regarding
You can?
need for dual time zone in India. There is a need to take up the issue of a dual time zone in India. Even though India has a single time zone, the Indian Standard Time, the width of India is one that demands at least 2 time zones. As often seen, especially in states of West Bengal and Northeast, following the IST has held them back rather than allow them to prosper, as it cuts daylight hours and therefore working hours. It has been observed that usually it dawns between 5:30 to 6 a.m. and with bright sunshine the day begins early in the east and northeastern states as compared to western part of India. So also sun sets early and it gets darker in the east and northeast parts as compared to the western states in India. This time differential does show its effect on the business activity and also affects the other activities of mankind. So therefore the time zone followed in the western states cannot be the same in the northeast due to geographical reasons. I therefore urge the government to consider this request and look into the matter seriously for the benefit of the states of East and Northeast. Thank you.
Mr. A.K. Selvaraj.
Road structure from Nasinakimbaim to Matambalim, that is kilometer 362/2 to 370/0 of NH 67 is a two-lane road having traffic intensity of 47,568 PCU. Entire such slice built up area, frequent traffic congestion and accidents are happening in this stretch. The state government has proposed work of implement of kilometer 362/2 to 370/0 of NS 67 for an amount of rupees 41.20 crore. The stretch from 323/850 to kilometer 380/0 of NH 67 has to be handed over to NH, that is Nagai, in the near future. As the proposed stretch will require improvement which would not be taken up immediately by Nagai, proposal is sent to, for inclusion in the annual plan. Stretch from Coimbatore to Metropolitan passes through Karamadi town, which is highly congested and built up area. The traffic movements are very slow and congested. Further, the widening is not feasible on this stretch due to not availability of land, and stretch is rubbed between the buildings. Therefore, bypass should be formed to Karamadi towns, starting from Bettadapuram, passing through Tholambalayam road and ending from Karamadi town, which comes around 3 kilometers. Formation of road for about 1 kilometer length, including constructions of ROP in under sanctioned by the state highways in feasible portion of Karamadi bypass from Tholambalayam road to NH 67. Hence, the balance 2 kilometer length for Bettadapuram to Tholambalayam road is sufficient sufficient for the formation of bypass road. Therefore, I urge upon the government to take up these two proposals in annual plan for the current fiscal and carry out the work urgently. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Mr. Jairam Ramesh, not present. Mr. Shiv Pratap Shukla.
के माध्यम से सरकार का ध्यान हृदय रोग संबंधी चिकित्सा उपकरणों पर की जा रही मुनाफाखोरी को आकृष्ट करना चाहता हूं। यह हर्ष की बात है कि सरकार ने इस विषय की गंभीरता का संज्ञान लेते हुए फरवरी 2017 में इन चिकित्सा उपकरणों की कीमत 85% तक कटौती की घोषणा की तथा नेशनल फार्मास्यूटिकल्स प्राइसिंग अथॉरिटी ने इस बारे में एक नोटिफिकेशन जारी भी किया। इससे देश के गरीब मरीजों को काफ़ी राहत मिली। अभी तक 2500 करोड़ रुपए से ज़्यादा खर्च हमारे देश के मरीज सिर्फ स्टेंट को खरीदने में करते थे, लेकिन इस संबंध में तमाम निजी अस्पताल और डॉक्टर अभी भी इस कटौती का फायदा आम लोगों तक नहीं पहुंचने दे रहे हैं। अभी भी स्थिति यह है कि एक बैलून कैथेटर पर चिकित्सक, वितरक तथा विक्रेता कुल मिलाकर के 500% तक का मुनाफा कमा रहे हैं। एक गाइडेड कैथेटर की 500 रुपये की कीमत आती है, जबकि इस उपकरण पर MRP 2800 रुपये दिखाई जाती है। इसी तरह अन्य उपकरणों के दामों में भी खूब मुनाफाखोरी हो रही है। तमाम अस्पताल और क्लिनिक पैकेज के नाम पर गैर जरूरी परीक्षणों और चिकित्सा में शामिल करके मरीजों का बिल कई गुना बढ़ा देते हैं। इन गैर जरूरी परीक्षणों को और उपकरणों को हृदय संबंधी बीमारियों के उपचार के लिए बाध्य करने वाले संस्थानों और डॉक्टरों पर सख्त कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। अमेरिका में इस संबंध में कानून इतने सख्त हैं कि 40 मिलियन तक की पेनाल्टी लगाई गई है, जो कि इस अपराध का मुख्य प्रायोजक धनार्जन पर चोट करती है। मेरा अनुरोध है कि सरकार इस पर तत्काल सख्त कार्रवाई करे।
थैंक यू मिस्टर राम कुमार कश्यप।
लेख के माध्यम से सरकार को अवगत कराना चाहता हूं कि हमारे प्रदेश हरियाणा में काफ़ी ग्राम पंचायती ऐसी हैं जिनके पास अपनी पंचायती ज़मीन न होने के कारण आय का कोई स्रोत नहीं है। सरकार की ओर से भी ऐसे गांवों को बहुत कम अनुदान प्राप्त होता है। इस कारण ऐसे गांव अभी तक मूलभूत सुविधाओं से वंचित हैं। ऐसे गांवों में न तो स्वास्थ्य शिक्षा सेवाएं बेहतर हैं, न ही पक्की गलियां, न ही गंदे पानी की निकासी तथा पेयजल की व्यवस्था, न ही पार्क तथा चौपालें आदि की सुविधाएं हैं। ऐसे गांव में शिक्षक पढ़ाने तथा डॉक्टर गांव में नियुक्ति से कतराने लगते हैं। ऐसे गांव उन गांवों से पिछड़ गए हैं जिनके पास अपने आय के साधन अर्थात पंचायती जमीन आदि है। ऐसी स्थिति में आर्थिक असंतुलन पैदा हो गया है। समाज में ऐसे असंतुलन से एक खाई बन जाती है जो द्वेष का रूप ले लेती है। ऐसी स्थिति में आर्थिक संसाधनहीन गांव हीन भावना के शिकार हो जाते हैं और विकास की धारा से अलग हो जाते हैं। फलस्वरूप विभिन्न प्रकार के अपराध, कुरीतियां तथा अन्य राजनीतिक द्वेष भी फैलने लगता है। मैं सदन के माध्यम से कहना चाहता हूं कि सरकार अपने नारे सबका साथ सबका विकास को ध्यान में रखते हुए ऐसे गांवों की तरफ प्राथमिकता के आधार पर ध्यान दे तथा उन्हें विकास के लिए विशेष अनुदान राशि उपलब्ध कराकर इन गांवों को भी अन्य संपन्न गांवों की तरह विकास की धारा में जोड़कर देश को विकास के पथ पर अग्रसर करे। आशा है सरकार उक्त संदर्भ में संज्ञान लेकर तत्काल संबंधितों को निर्देशित करने का कष्ट करेगी। जय हिंद।
Thank you very much. Srimati Wanshuk Shyam, not present. Mr. Vivek Gupta, not present. Dr. V. Maitre.
A strip of water separating India from the northern province of Sri Lanka has been historically providing rich fishing grounds to Tamil Nadu fishermen. But shockingly, a new fisheries bill is reported to have been passed by the Sri Lankan parliament, prohibiting certain fishing methods. It is widely reported that under the provisions of the Fisheries and Aquatic Resources Amendment Bill, the fishing trawlers as well as the fishing gear used for fishing in the Sri Lankan territorial waters will be confiscated, fishermen imprisoned for 2 years, and huge fines up to 50,000 Lankan rupees will be imposed. It is further reported that the bill is predominantly aimed at Indian fishermen who have been carrying out fishing for many centuries in their traditional waters of Park Bay. The rights of our fishermen were affected by the Indo-Sri Lankan agreements of 1974 and 76, which also unilaterally ceded Kachativu to Sri Lanka. Now the right to livelihood of our fishermen continues to be infringed upon by the Sri Lankan authorities. The new Sri Lankan bill will affect the already paralyzed livelihoods of lakhs of our fishermen. I urge upon the government to respond to this move by Sri Lanka effectively and protect the pride of India and the fishing rights of our fishermen in the Park Bay.
Thank you very much. Professor Rajiv Gowda.
Act was enacted by Parliament in 2016 with all-party support. When the bill was debated in the Rajya Sabha, I had moved an amendment to include an anti-discrimination clause. This clause sought to prohibit discrimination based on dietary preference, sexual orientation, region of origin, caste, creed, etc. The House was in broad agreement with the clause. However, I withdrew the amendment when the Honourable Minister requested that it be withdrawn, and after he assured the House that a strong anti-discrimination provision would be added to the rules under the Act. In reality, the rules are a diluted version of what was promised. The grounds of discrimination are vaguely worded, and the onus is on states to create such anti-discrimination provisions under the rules that they frame. Numerous states, in turn, have either not incorporated the provision, example Gujarat, or have simply added an open-ended non-discrimination clause to the affidavits about projects filed by promoters, example Uttar Pradesh. This weak and farcical attempt to solve a problem of this magnitude. Discrimination in housing is a reality that must be confronted if subtle social exclusion is to be eliminated and the constitutional ideals of equality and fraternity translated into reality. I therefore urge the government to strengthen the anti-discrimination clause in the rules under the Real Estate Regulation Act that we passed and ensure that states are held to a minimum standard for such clauses in their rules. Only then will the minister's assurance in the Rajya Sabha have any meaning.
Thank you. Mr. P.L. Punia, not present. Mr. Ratanavel, not present. Mr. Rahman Khan.
It has already been discussed in the House in detail. I just laid it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chowdhury Munawar Salim, not present. The House stands adjourned till 11 hours on Friday, the 21st July 2017.